Hello. Welcome to Cassandra's Tarot Dice and Spiritual Advice. My name is Patrick. I'll stop y'all, I promise. For those of y'all who don't know, Cassandra is a mythological figure best blessed with the ability to see the future by Apollo, and then cursed by Apollo to have no one believe her, because apparently he wanted to wipe her down, and he gave her that ability to ensure that that would happen, and then it didn't happen. Now, regardless of if she knew about it or not, like if she agreed to marry him, if she got the gift or not, then, you know, it is what it is. Apparently younger sister of Hector, too, I believe. Which is interesting, because Hector was, you know, slain by Achilles. And he was, like, unbeatable. Alright, so today, I don't know. I'm going to pull one card for what each zodiac sign can be focusing on. And I want to do this face down, so I may just shuffle. I'm going to give this 3 more shuffles. Another cut. And then I'll just pull the top 12. So top 12 off the board. And this will be what we can focus on, however these energies apply to you, however you're feeling. Like, for instance, my Venus is in Aries, and I've been in my Venus a lot lately, so sometimes I'll check out Aries. My Libra is an energy I kind of sort of come into and out of, honestly. Sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. A lot of times I don't, but sometimes I do. Pisces, I mean, it's like that with all of them, though, honestly. With different readers, I kind of watch different signs. Like some readers hit more of my moon and rising, some hit more of my sun, or I resonate with those energies more. So however you feel it. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm wearing my headphones today, so that to try to cancel out all the fan noise that I go on. Ooh, okay, well, that's where we will start. This will be the bonus card, and we'll give us a cut. Ham. So that'll be Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Psych, Gemini. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay, I was like, I know these. Bottom of the deck is Justice overall. The card that came out is the 7 of Cups. So we have corruption with the corruptor and justice. 7 of Cups and justice. This is all about choosing. I feel like this is more about creating a new way where everything that we have established, where nothing that we have established quite fits all the needs of whatever. So that'll be just like the overall. So I kind of sort of love that. So maybe this would be like something that you can address in your own personal life, something that you can address, I just said that, something that you can bring awareness or attention to within yourself or within your community. We'll see. So we'll start Pisces and go backwards. I'm a Pisces sign. So with Pisces, it's the 3 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles speaks to things that we do in the physical world that we can't do alone. Physical matters that can't be tackled alone, or just, I guess, a task at hand. It could also be gathering resources. So whatever you are working towards, if you have Pisces in your chart and that's what you're watching for, then make sure it's something that gets you to go where you actually want to be. Something worthy of your effort. And something that you will like, right? So I feel like if you're offered a job or something like that, or if you're doing work, or not even a job, just like partnership in general, make sure it's with people who, or a company who you can sort of get behind, right? Because if things go a certain way, you know, you want it to be for something. So now let's go to Aquarius. Aquarius has the 10 of Swords, the Destroyer. So I feel like this could be asking you, there may be some mounting frustrations in your life right now, Aquarius. And I feel like it's going to be important for you to make sure that you are not misplacing any blame before you make any actions or decisions. Right? And it's kind of sort of giving me vibes back to the Aquarius retrograde story where I was like, is it you or is it your community? Because if it's actually you, if you move somewhere else and if you try to start all over, you're going to run into the same issues. But if it's your community, then you know that's when there are people sort of preventing you from going where you want to go. This may also speak to maybe Aquarius. I was trying to get, like, trying to kick some kind of addiction, and it may be time to just go cold turkey. Now, regardless of if that's a substance or a person, like a dependence that you have on a person that's not good for you, it may be time to go cold turkey. Because, you got the whole Ten of Swords, so something definitely not good for you with Kali there, and maybe something that you've been indulged with or engaged with or connected to for a long time with this Hierophant energy down there as well. For Capricorn, we have the Hermit. So, Capricorn, I feel like this is you. Like, there's some kind of behavior that you have that you need to cut out. Because the Hermit speaks to things that are within us, deep within us. And then we have corruption and we have justice down here. Maybe there's a part of you, maybe like your heart, that has been twisted and corrupted. Maybe you've become jaded because of circumstances and situations that have happened to you in your life. And it's time for you to bring all of that stuff to balance. You know, if people would take advantage of you, that says something more about the people in your life than it does about you. Now, it may say that you can be a little naive, yeah, sure, whatever. But I don't think it's necessarily for you to close yourself off. Now, going to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the giver. So you give, or you get what you give, Sagittarius. And I think this is asking you to not have unreasonable expectations from what you get from other people when you don't really give much. Or vice versa, right? It also speaks to kind of sort of with Pisces. It's like, be careful what you give your time, attention, energy, and effort to. Because whatever you give that to is what you give back. What you get back. And also, you can't get more out of life than you put into it. Now, you can put into life in many different ways, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and all of those contributions count, but the sum total, you can't get more than you give. And maybe it's for you to not expect, I think I already said it, but maybe it's for you to not expect things from other people that you don't even give yourself. Going down to Libra, we have, I didn't even read these. So Pisces has 3 of Orbs, the Mason, which is all about building. Aquarius has the Destroyer, 10 of Swords. Capricorn has the Erudite, which is the Hermit. Sagittarius had the Giver, 6 of Orbs. And so Libra has the Scarlet Shield, Queen of Swords, Power and Authority of Air, which is interesting because that's Libran energy. And then we have Justice down here as well. So I think Libra, it's time for you to really, I think Libra, sometimes y'all can be kind of, you can kind of mute yourself for other people going into that martyr type of, like the shadow of Libra, being that martyr, right? Let's nudge this up a little bit. I hope this doesn't fall because this thing be acting like brand new sometimes. Not brand new, but it be acting new. Not like fresh out the box new, not mint condition new, but like gently used. Sorry, Libra. So yeah, I think you can sometimes have a tendency to defer and default to what other people think and do. But there's something that some way that you interact, engage with, perceive the situation that other people don't. And it's for you to have a voice right now. And for you to speak that because you may be able to avoid a certain situation and unfavorable outcome. Like, Libras are smart. But I feel like maybe sometimes you can run the risk of undervaluing yourself. especially when it comes to like group contributions. Maybe because you don't want to make waves, or you don't think that you're necessarily smarter than someone else. So in a certain situation, so you'll like default to their judgment. But I think there's something that you can see that other people can't, and maybe other people are going so hard because they don't see it. But it's for you to say something. Now, Virgo, y'all have the Hunt, Nine of Swords. So, y'all know sometimes when you can't sleep at night and your brain starts to wonder to all the things that maybe you could do differently, or you think you could have done differently in your life. I feel like that's what this energy is. And I think it's for you to come out of it. Because as long as you continue to stay in that space, I think kind of sort of like Libra, you're going to be holding yourself back in areas because you don't want to repeat past mistakes. It'll be like, well, last time I did this and it didn't work out, or last time I didn't do this and I'm not doing this again, and blah blah blah. It's like the past has a hold on y'all in some way that it needs not to. And so it's time to free yourself from that. And it's time to face your shadow. And sometimes by facing your shadow, that means doing the thing that you're afraid to do. Because they say that like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. But here it's like not doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to not be affected, when all you do is reinforce everything that's already happened. And so it's like there's almost this feeling of like, even if you are encountering a similar situation, there's enough that is different within you that you're not going to get the same outcome. Or you would only get the same outcome if you allow your previous interactions with whatever this is, or whatever this class of interaction is, to put you down a path that you've already sort of like you've already conquered it. And look, we have Aquarius with the Ten of Swords, and then Virgo with the Nine of Swords. I thought this was Libra for a second, so I got excited. But I am getting a kind of Libran energy with this. And it's because there's something that you're not doing for the sake of... I mean, I guess that could be anybody, right? We all got Libra in our chart somewhere. Maybe Virgo, look and see where you have Aquarius and Libra in your chart. Aquarius and Libra, that would be your second and third, fourth, fifth house, Virgo. Especially if you're a Virgo rising. The second and the fifth house, that would be your possessions and then your creativity. So maybe also you don't feel like you have enough. Maybe you don't feel like you are enough to get whatever's coming your way. And so it's keeping you in spaces that you know you don't need to be in, but maybe you don't think you deserve better, or you deserve more. And it's time, with the corruptor and the chancellor, it's time to bring an end to that. But I feel like no one's going to come and save you, Virgo. Because if someone tried to, you would refuse their help because you wouldn't think you were worth it. So you have to do it yourself. Now moving up to Leo. Leo, y'all's got the Eminence, Nine of Orbs. Okay, so maybe, Leo, it's time to take yourself down a notch or two. Maybe it's time to be a little bit more humble, right? Maybe pride, because the corruptor in this deck speaks to the 7 deadly sins. So maybe a little too proud. And it's not, like with the Nine of Pentacles, that's a good energy, so it's not that it's bad, but you may be too proud to see the, it's like a weakness, the faults. You may be too proud to see the faults in your structural integrity. And so there may be things within yourself that you need to heal, change, or address, but your ego and your pride is keeping you from doing that. And if you don't do that, you won't be able to progress any further than this Nine of Pentacles, because when you move into the 10 of Pentacles, like, you have to have space to accept that 10th Pentacle. And the only space in this card is like over her face, and like Leo energy is not going to allow their face to be like hidden. So maybe also you got to let go of something to let something greater in. And if you think that you're the greatest already, well, what room do you have to be greater, right? And that's one thing that humility can allow for us, is an opportunity to grow and an opportunity to be even greater. Because when you think you're the greatest already, you don't leave yourself room for much improvement. And that would lead to stagnation. So now moving down to Cancer. Ooh, Cancer's got the keeper. Okay, Cancer, well. So in this deck, there are three fools: the initiate, the seeker, and the keeper. The keeper is the enlightened fool. The keeper is the fool who's been around the block once, twice, maybe three times. And so a lot of the secrets and hidden things that would be revealed to us through the journey of the major arcana, she already knows. And she's been given certain access. Hold up, 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 hold up. Aries. This was Virgo. This was okay. So I'm gonna keep going with it, but I completely skipped Scorpio. So I guess Scorpio is gonna be last. Scorpio is gonna be next to Aries. I'm like, wait, because Cancer is associated with the moon. But I was like, wait, number five is not Cancer. I just completely skipped over Scorpio. So now we're moving everything. We're shifting everything for Scorpio. What does that mean? Ooh, Scorpio, you're always doing the most. See, if Scorpio wasn't hiding at the bottom of the ocean, then we wouldn't be skipping over Scorpio. Scorpios can kind of sort of low-key be like that, though. They want to be in their feelings. They want to feel some type of way about how maybe ain't nobody doing this or ain't nobody doing that, but then they'll never ask for it. They'll never show that they need it. And they know people ain't mind readers. It's like Scorpios pride themselves on being able to hide from people, but then at the same time they want to cry because they don't feel safe. So it's like sometimes you got to pick a side, Scorpio. Okay, so Cancer, same thing go to y'all too, because y'all can be little hermit crabs, and then y'all want to get like passive aggressive or try to be like, I mean, maybe that's the shadow of Cancer, because I don't think it's interesting, because like Cancer energy is like kind of sort of the crybaby of the zodiac. But I don't know if Cancer energy is necessarily like, I need you to be here and listen to me right now. I feel like Cancer energy just gets super like maybe passive aggressive, like try to make you feel bad about not being there, but not just straight up ask. So there are like things that they're keeping. It's like things that you're keeping that are being seen because your actions are giving it away. So back to Cancer. Right. And then I feel like with this keeper, it's related to the eclipse, because Cancer season is starting off with that solar eclipse, right? And then we have the keeper here. The keeper speaks to secrets that are revealed, but also secrets that are kept. But I'm feeling like there's something about the way that you act or respond or behave that reveals more than you may think to the trained eye. And so I think you're being asked to reflect on whether your actions, because our actions are a reflection of us always. And the things we speak on and the way we speak are reflections of us always. Regardless of if we're emotional or not, it's all a reflection of us, right? Just because we're upset, just because we're emotional, doesn't absolve us of the things that we do and say, just like being drunk or being high or being under this and under the influence of this or under the influence of that. Like, none of it excuses and absolves our actions and our words. It can explain it to some degree, but it doesn't absolve it. So we're still responsible at the end of the day. And so there's almost this energy of things kind of sort of beginning to run away from Cancer, but you're still responsible. So clean it up as best you can, and make sure that whatever you do or say is in alignment with who you are. Because if it's not, regardless of if you're in your feelings, regardless if you're under the influence, you're going to be held responsible. But at the same time, there's like a mirror featured in here. So it's like, understand that, I always see it as a mirror, at least. Understand that sometimes the things that are reflected to you in your reality are things that are, it's like things that you're keeping from yourself. And maybe you need to see it right now to address it and to heal it and to bring justice to it. And that's why you can't escape the reflection of it in your reality. So coming down to Taurus, yeah, this feels right. I was like, whoa, hold up. Cancer came way too quick. I didn't catch it when it was Libra. I didn't catch it when it was Virgo. I didn't catch it when it was Leo. But I was like, Cancer came way too quick. Right? And Cancer is the chariot, so. Taurus, Gemini, sorry. Oof, Gemini. So, yeah, but Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius all got air energy, which is interesting. So y'all are in y'all element. Capricorn got an earth energy. Virgo got an air energy. Pisces got earth. So the suit of air is on point. The other suits, Sagittarius got earth. Leo got earth. I think so. For Gemini, this is, I mean, air signs in general, it's all about getting your mind right. And it's about getting your mind right and then getting your actions to align with whatever's in your mind. So Gemini, Six of Swords, this is all about, the Six of Swords in this deck is about trusting that you're going to be navigated in the direction that is best for you, right? When you get on an airplane, you don't, go up to the cockpit and ask the pilot every 5 seconds, like, are you sure we're headed in the right direction? Like, this is the route on the map, but, like, is there a better way to get there? Like, is there another way we can fly where we can shave down on the travel time? Like, it's some kind of, I don't know, TomTom, some kind of GPS app. You are on the slowest route to get to your destination. It's like, no, you don't, on the cruise ship, you don't go and pester the captain, and on the airplane, you don't go and ask the pilot. So don't ask this ferryman, because the ferryman knows, and the ferryman has sight beyond our sight, and vision beyond our vision. And the ferryman understands the ferryman understands how the behavior of the water in which he travels is affected by the cycles of the moon. Everything that is kept from everyone else, the ferryman knows. So maybe Cancer, if you got a Gemini in your life, you ain't gonna be able to hide for them for much longer. Gemini, if you got a Cancer in your life, if you have a Cancer in your life, Gemini, and you know that they're upset, then just talk to them. Don't wait until they get super, nasty in whatever way they get nasty. Don't wait until they get, like, snippy in whatever ways they get snippy. If you know something is up with them, go and talk to them. And I guess that's Gemini in general. If there's someone in your life who you know is upset, or someone in your life that you know you should reach out to bury a hatchet, put some water under the bridge, to build a bridge and get over something, if it would bring peace, it may be time to do that. Because it's almost like to continue to not move forward in whatever this is to continue to sort of pollute the waters. And it's time to bury a hatchet and move on. Like, just because you bury a hatchet and move on, like, you don't necessarily have to be friends with this person again. or the relationship doesn't immediately have to go back to being what it was. But on your part, I feel like it would bring you peace if you address something and then move forward. So Taurus has the shining quarry. Yes, the shining quarry, Knight of Orbs. I always get eclipse vibes because the scarab represents Kepri, one of the sun goddesses, I believe, a sun deity. And then the orb, the pinnacle, reminds me of the moon. So it's almost like the sun is about to eclipse the moon because that's the direction that it's flying. But, so I feel like that means that, Taurus, there is something within you that is about to be brought to the light. And with this justice and the corruptor, you want to make sure it is something, something golden, something, worthy of being manifested. I feel like this is something that maybe you've worked for or worked towards for a long time. Slow and steady wins the race. And it is the stability of Earth that gives it its shine. Like, that's why the Earth is praised, because it's always there, right? That's why we don't go and build a home on water. We build homes on Earth. And if done properly, even when the Earth moves, the home can move with it. Right? Well, I got one little braid, just one random braid. I took the braids in the back of my head down. I got two little random braids that are separate. So when everything else is falling apart, Taurus, it's up to you to stand strong. And maybe you've had to be that stability. And maybe it's like your time for rest and your time for comfort is coming, right? It's been a long, slow road, and you are nearing the end of it. But when you get there, it's like, keep that space pure, keep that space free of all of the debris. Aries, y'all got the joyous one, the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Chalices. Okay, so I think this is speaking to modesty, moderation, all things in moderation. Like, don't get drunk, like Beyonce, Drunk in Love. I don't know the whole song. All I know is she been drinking watermelon. Wait, yeah, that's Drunk in Love, Surfboard, right? I think. I feel like, so with justice and the corruptor being the sort of lens that adds a tint to this joyous one, I think, Aries, it's going to be important for you that as you come into everything, or as you pursue everything, and as you achieve everything that you're pursuing, it's going to be important for you to not rest on your laurels, and it's going to be important for you to keep going. Because once fluid gets still, that's when, like, different bacteria and algae can, like, really bloom. Like, they really flourish in still water. So if you don't want whatever this is to curdle or spoil or to turn sour, you have to keep it fluid, you have to keep it moving. And usually for Aries, that's not a problem. So, but also at the same time, I feel like it's for you to appreciate everything that you've done, and for you to know that what you've been through is a certain, like, badge of honor for you. But also at the same time, it's not to get too big-headed. I think, Aries, you have the only 10 on the table. Well, Aquarius had a 10, but that's the 10 of Swords. So yeah, Aries, I mean, things are looking good for you, Aries. Keep your eye on the prize, keep yourself in positive mind, right? But maybe also at the same time, it's to not be too idealistic, right? To appreciate what you have, but to also be grounded in reality. Because it is that, and it's not like a haha, I'm in a better position than you are, but it is that contrast, that comparison that makes us, or helps us appreciate what we have even more. So, yeah. Aries comes out with the Ten of Cups. Pisces comes out with the Three of Pentacles. Now, Scorpio, let's see what y'all was hiding. Ooh, the Three of Swords. That's why Scorpio is hiding. See, Scorpios, when Scorpios hurt, y'all, they go into the deeps where can't nobody see them crying. Oof. Okay, well. So, Scorpio, maybe y'all are facing heartaches that you maybe ran away from for a long time. And maybe you sort of reached the point where you're like, it's not everybody else, it's me. And I feel like with the corrector and justice down here, it's not for you to get lost in that. It's not for you to like beat yourself and continue to be like self-flagellation. That's bringing the Scarlet Letter to mind, when Hester Prynne, her dude was like, I think he was self-flagellating like his back, and people couldn't see it when he wore clothes. And Pearl, ooh, Pearl. So maybe some adultery going on. Was either of them married though? Because she got the A on her, but I don't think either of them were married. So it would just be, what's the other one? Fornication if you're not married, right? I don't know. Anyway, Scorpio, it's like there are things in your heart that disrupt the rhythm of it. And it's almost like you've gotten comfortable with this, with whatever. And so like these swords, like, you know, because the swords are in this heart, but I don't know if it's too much bleeding. Not too much. Honestly, the heart look a little crusty. The heart looks a little crusty. It's not like gushing blood or anything. So it's like, you know, sometimes when you get like shot, or if like you get impaled with something and there's like a piece of metal stuck in you, it's like it's better to leave it in there because it's too close to whatever, and like it would be almost more trouble than it's worth to remove it. So they're like, you know, don't do anything too drastic. You know, try not to get jostled too much because you do have this piece of whatever that is dangerously close to one of your vital organs, and if it punctures it, then, you know, you could be in big trouble. And so it's almost that feeling. And so like you've learned to live life with this in you, and to not encounter or allow yourself to be too shaken up emotionally, or else your whole entire heart might fall apart. And so, I mean, with the corrector and with the chancellor here, oof. Scorpio, maybe this is why y'all was hiding. I ain't got no advice for y'all, Scorpio. Because just like the doctors, it's like, it's not that it's more hassle than it's worth. But this would need to be like an extremely careful operation, or else the whole thing might fall apart. But sometimes you gotta allow things to fall apart to pick up the pieces. I'm actually gonna try to see if I can get a card to fall out. What's some advice for Scorpio? Because I'm just like, ooh. Ooh. Okay, well, the Magician came out and then it flipped right back over. Okay, there we go. What card is this? The Sun. So yeah, you gotta bring those things to light. Bottom of the deck now is the Holy See. Oof. With the Healer right under that. So either you could bring these things to the light and fight through them, or you could continue to allow whatever this has done to your foundation to just be what it is. If you're not, if you can't like fight, then it may be best to just leave this. because it's almost like, you know, these things have healed and you've learned to operate with them in you. And so to pull these swords out now would be like excruciating, because you've gotten so much scar tissue just around them, almost holding them in place. And it's like, if this ain't like, if you don't just pull this out super quick, it's like a band-aid. You just gotta rip it off. Because like, it's like if you try to do it slow, it's gonna hurt too much, and then you're just gonna stab it right back down. So this is rough, Scorpio. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Scorpios kind of sort of have it the hardest. But again, it's because they don't really allow themselves to be seen. And so they just like compact and compact and compact and compact things down there. And it's like the water is so dense that light can't get between the water molecules. It's almost like it's so dense it's like solid ice. No. Because I'm trying to think of how the physics of water works. Water is interesting because when it freezes, it actually expands. Right? And usually when something freezes, it shrinks and compacts and gets smaller, but water expands because when the water molecules are forced to have those interactions stabilized, they're actually a lot further than if they were just like slipping and sliding past each other, right? It's like I can do this. Like this is like liquid water, but if I actually want to solidify that and lock it all in, they're a lot more separate. I need to cut my nails, y'all. Don't judge me. They're a lot more separate, and this is like solid water. But this could be like liquid water. You see how you know, instead of that. So that's why. So even though there's more space in between the molecules, it's solid. So it's like it expands, but it also locks down at the same time. So nothing can get in there to really break it up. So yeah, oof, not a super great note to leave this off on, but I will pull one Wisdom of Lord Ganesha card, if I can find the deck, as an overall piece of advice for everybody. And then I will shut this down. Well, I guess it hasn't been too long. I was like, oh man, I thought this would be shorter. Y'all, I really need to finish this work today. I'm like one thing from just like plugging in all the numbers I need. So, what is one thing that all of these situations can benefit from? Again, these were general. If y'all watch this, I mean, I feel like I ain't gotta say it. I shouldn't have to tell you if this ain't for you, it's not for you. Like, you should know, right? Like, you don't go to movies and they don't scream before every single movie, you know, this is a work of fiction, not based on real events or people, blah, blah, blah. Like, some movies they do, but they don't do that every single movie, right? Because you should know. You going to the movies, hello? You should know. Now, some of the movies they kind of sort of do based on like actual people and events, but they don't say it. They call it whatchamacallits. And not them based on a true story movies either. What does it mean for something to be based on the truth? Like, oop, okay. I'll give it a cut, and then I'll just pull the card right on top. We have Courage, number 50. Ooh, I've never seen this card before. Can y'all see that? Courage. Courage! That was one of my favorite shows. It was creepy AF, but I love Courage the Cowardly Dog. Muriel would be like, Courage, help me! And it's like, what is this little dog supposed to do against all of this? But Courage always found a way. He was always scared, terrified, but he found a way for the people that he loves. And that's what's important. you know. Ain't nobody say you can't have no fear. Ain't nobody say you ain't allowed to be scared, but you should be able to show up for the folks you love, you know. This is actually the last card in the deck. There are only 50 cards, and card number 50 came out, so. The warmth of your open heart can give comfort to all who cross your path. This is courage. Ooh, I love that it's talking about the heart. Let me see if I can do something like this. There you go. I ain't even got to touch it. The root word for courage is cœur, which is the French word for heart. I didn't know that. I mean, it's French, so I probably mispronounced it. Courage comes from the heart. That's what I was saying. He always showed up for the people that he loves. Yes. Muriel knew the power of love. Now, maybe she was defenseless, but she knew that little dog loved them enough that he would be able to take on all kinds of supernatural, extraterrestrial, anything and everything. It is an inner strength guided by love, which seeks truth and justice. Okay, I'm sorry. When you have the courage to be true to yourself, you start to feel empowered to act and live in ways true to your own soul, without any illusion. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know how I read. And live in ways true to your own soul without any illusion. Ganesha is urging you to let down your guard and stop wearing a mask. Begin to have more respect for yourself as well as for others. Beware of making harsh judgments about yourself and others. When you come from the heart, you will find that you relate better to others. Your innate gifts will be able to shine through. You are capable of leadership, achievement, and inspiring others. You are capable of leadership, achievement, and inspiring others to succeed through your own success. Okay. So when you do succeed, you know, it's to be an inspiration to others, and sometimes you can't really inspire if you're too big-headed. Some people you can inspire if you're big-headed. So it depends, right? Aries, you got to know, well, for the people who will be inspired by you, they will be led to you. So it ain't for you to necessarily, like, change who you are in general, right? So, you know, not everyone is for you in general. And for the people who aren't for you, it's not for you to change yourself to try to make yourself for them. It's for them to find someone who is for them. And it's for you to not stop being you. When you draw this card, it is a sign that your ability to cooperate and thrive in peer ventures with like-minded individuals is heightened. Be willing to do what is needed for things to run smoothly for you. Ganesha promises great success if you are willing to let down your walls. He is pictured here on the powerful lion, inherited from his mother Parvati. The lion represents the fierce nature of Ganesha. It's so interesting that Parvati came up today, because, like, I heard her name yesterday, and I was like, wait, ain't that Ganesha mama? Because I saw her, there was some card where he was a baby or a child on here, and she was there. So inherited from his mother Parvati, the lion represents the fierce nature of Ganesha. He calls on you now to trust the fearless part of your being, your own inner lion, and invites you to work with him to learn how to be valiant and harness your heart's great courage. And that's a lesson that I've been learning, y'all. And it all started with that one dream of a lion stabbing me in the back with a claw, giving me a piece of his courage. And now look at me. I'm here doing all kind of things. So that's where I'm going to leave this. I'm going to timestamp this up. So I guess I'll make it public after I timestamp it or whatever. So, or I'll upload it and then I'll timestamp it later after I do a little bit of work. I'll do it first. I won't be busy. All right, so, let me take a picture Actually, I'm going to flip these back over and then take the thumbnail. And then we'll get going. So, I'll catch y'all later. I just felt like doing this today. I don't know. I was just like, whoa. And I think it ended up working out. I mean, you know, take it as it resonates. We'll see. All right, bye.